When our fans think of the NFL, it's the excitement on the field. I don't think that they think of us as scientific, but everything that we do is so data-driven and scientific for health and safety. We have committee structures that bring in the most brilliant minds from medical, scientific, engineering backgrounds that help us to understand how injuries happen, but really put together strategies and technologies to improve the health and safety of our players.
We have doctors. We have medical experts, trainers, biomechanical engineers, epidemiologists, data analytics experts, inputs from a lot of different expertise areas. And my role as the person who leads a lot of those efforts is to try to take a little bit from a lot of different places and find ways for it to be collaborative, combine, integrate. You find some insights, others add to it. You ask new questions, you research those possibilities, and you find applications for it. And part of the changes that have been made over the last few years are really reliant upon advances in data and analytics.
A lot of the work that's been done at research institutions have kind of qualified impact data using video reconstruction. So they've reconstructed impacts in the lab using test dummies based on video reconstructions of on-field play to develop new products.
We test about 25,000 football helmets a year, and the whole idea is to reduce the head impact exposure to the players on the field.
We've been doing some work on helmets for quite some time, working with a lot of world-class biomechanical engineers. And over the course of the last few years, we started a project to take a look at the properties of helmets called the NFL Helmet Challenge.
We wanted to bring together minds and really set an audacious goal for manufacturers to design and develop a better helmet. In addition, when we started the engineering roadmap, we had always sought out to do position-specific helmets.
Here's a data set of things that actually have happened. We can share that. We can give that to helmet companies.
So we've stimulated the marketplace with data, giving them an understanding of how concussions were happening on our field, speed and location, so they could design for a better helmet. Helmets are now improving 9 times faster than they were in 2015. In addition, we've had 25% reduction of concussions. So really, those are the statistics of success.
Measuring certain biometrics on the field that you can measure in the helmet and using that to improve the game of football, I think will have benefits that we can't even really imagine right now.
We can go so deep now with some of the data and some of the information that we can provide that some of the research they do is groundbreaking.
Data, 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 and more data. All those data points, we are able to build really sophisticated models as well as technologies so that we'll be able to predict injuries, which has never happened before.
So the medical community is now focused more on reducing repetitive subconcussive impacts. Q-Collar is a non-invasive device worn around the neck. It's applying a very exacting amount of pressure, which allows for a backfilling, and there's more fluid being held in the brain, so the brain can't slosh or move inside the head. The research we showed is by putting the collar on, that injury doesn't occur. It's significantly reduced.
Why aren't there pads tailored to a player came off of X injury last year, so we want to make sure he's protected? With X-Tech, we launched with pads specific to what sort of injuries the player may be prone to based upon the position he plays.
One of the needs that I saw in the market that wasn't there was the launch monitor kind of for quarterbacks. And we felt like that could be a good tool to help develop quarterbacks as well as keep quarterbacks healthy and on the field. So we know what a healthy arm looks like as a baseline, so that when somebody's recovering from injury, then they can come back, and once they start to reach that same level of performance, they know that their recovery is on track and they're ready to go again. So it helps on both the prevention side and also the recovery side.
It's a system that calculates these stats. It gives it to you in its initial form in a spreadsheet, pointing out their weaknesses or their perceived weaknesses and how can we improve, even on injury recovery standpoint. But now I can quantify it. I can put a number to that improvement.
Now, more than ever, we're more informed about the game of football, and that's not just in head protection, but that extends in a lot of different aspects of the games. The progress in the past 5-10 years has been dramatic, and I see that continuing with a lot of the emphasis and focus on player safety.
Over time, as is true with science or medicine or any other discipline, the more you learn, the faster you can make changes, and we've been able to follow along there. Helmets have improved faster. Rules changes have improved more quickly. The surfaces that we play on are better understood. How we run training camps, how we help the athletes train, understanding nutrition. All of those things are very different from where they were 50 years ago, where they were 5 years ago. Our ability to combine, integrate the sorts of things that we can measure that we weren't able to measure before.
We have moved the helmet marketplace. We have made significant changes to our game, but it is all led by the data that we collect. Data always wins and data always leads.